Hey, I'm Nick Rollo. I'm a producer and mixing engineer. I just said producer, really weird. Welcome to my channel. I am going to show you how to export a song in Studio One. This works for 5, assuming this works for 6. Definitely works for 4 and 3 and 2 and those ones, so it's pretty easy stuff. I'm doing a few more specialized videos at the moment, just really kind of answering a few questions that I see pop up about Studio One. I use Studio One, so I was like, I'll just do a couple tutorials just to dive into a few like basic things. My plan, I think, for the longer term is to do a few more videos that aren't specifically about Studio One, more about producing pop music and kind of like higher level stuff, not like in the weeds being like, this is how you make a FX Send in Studio One. If you find this helpful, consider liking and subscribing. I'm building up a few FX chains and macros where you don't really need to tweak settings, you just get to tweak knobs. We all love tweaking knobs. If you would find that helpful, comment below. I'd love to know whether that would be something you would value, something that you'd want to buy. I'm not really sure. I haven't done a lot of like the whole making stuff and selling stuff, but I have made a couple of these presets and I find them really helpful, and I think they're just really easy to make cool sounds. So if that's something you'd like, comment below. Love to know. I don't want to waste your time, so let's jump into this. So it's really important that when we are exporting a song, we have a song. I would recommend highly having some stuff on your main out, your mix bus, your master bus, whatever you want to call it. Real quick, I've got a compressor. I'll just play what I'm exporting. You get the vibe. This is a pop beat. You can buy it. There's a link to my beat store below if you're a pop artist that is looking for beats. I also do like one-on-one production, like commission stuff. Anyway, so I've got a compressor, which just kind of catches some of the loud parts. It's pulsing with the kick to give it a kind of, that didn't explain anything, but just to give it a bit of a bounce. I have this EQ with a bit of high end and occasionally a little bit of a low boost, but not in this case. I have this plugin which expands the spatialness of it. It kind of just creates stereo. It's a stereo imager is the word I'm grappling for. It just makes it a bit wider, more fun. I've got Goldfoss Master, which is like a kind of AI powered EQ that just kind of catches things that is happening, cleans it up a little bit. Really good plugin. I've got a tape emulator, which just kind of adds a bit of warmth and distortion, like harmonics basically. It's vibey, recommend it. And finally, kind of most importantly, if you were going to pick 2 things here, I'd choose a compressor and a limiter. I am making a preset for this, by the way. But yeah, the limiter makes it loud, the compressor just makes it vibey. Together it's great. I'm adding quite a lot of volume here. As you can hear, it adds a lot of volume. Alright, so to export a song, that was a bit of preamble. Just doing those things makes the export better usually. There's 2 ways you can export a song. First is you can use a loop. So the song starts right here on bar 2. I would typically recommend having a bar of nothing beforehand, and then you can start the song with like this much space. Or you could go closer if you want. But yeah, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either do it based on the loop, or if you click on this little button here and you click marker, you get a start marker. Let's drag that here. So that's the starting point, either by the loop or by the starting marker. And then we go to the other side and we drag the loop to where the tail ends. And just wait for the audio to die down. Nice. Typically this end marker will be way over here. Sometimes you have to kind of just keep tapping and pressing play to like keep getting it going further. Once you find it, just drag it over to the end point. So this is our song. This is the time of the song. Next, what we're going to do is either click up here to song and go export mix down, or Control E for export. Oh, where'd my song go? I typically do Control E and it brings up this window. So we can either do loop, which is this bar up here, or between start and end marker, which are these markers. You can do wave file, and an MP3 file if you need. I typically just do WAV unless I'm mastering, in which case I want to send a MP3 file as well. You just want to choose a folder to save the song in by clicking that, and then you can, throw that wherever you need it to go. Name it. You don't need to publish it if you don't want to. I personally wouldn't, but that's just not my cup of tea. You've got these various options here. I don't personally bypass master because I mix with the master processing. Use real-time processing. If you have minutes to spare, sure. I personally haven't found a difference, so I just keep that off. Write tempo can be helpful. It just means that the 85 down here will be thrown onto the actual audio file. Import to track. It'll just drop it below, I think. I don't actually do that. And close after export just means that this little window will close. That is my settings, basically. So yeah, you just click OK and it does its thing. There's also another option, which is export stems, which is Control-Shift-E. And basically, it's the same thing. You just are now going to export all of these individually, which is really helpful in some cases and can be worth doing. A pro tip for this is do WAV. I mean, it'll be big files, but high quality files. But the pro tip is I always used to think you had to have a file name prefix, which is super annoying because when you export it, it'll say Nick Rollo Beats Dusk 21 November 2022 dash synth melody. Super annoying when you're trying to actually organize files. Just delete this. Leave it blank and it doesn't have a prefix. I don't know why this took me 5 years to figure out, but I've been battling with it for a long time. I would write tempo to audio file for stems. It doesn't really matter whether it's a loop or a song and start end marker. I'd probably say use the song start and end marker because then you can actually use the loop to loop stuff. Go figure. Another tip that I would probably follow is start the song on a whole point. So this is a quarter beat to start or a half beat to start. Don't go here, because then if somebody tries to drag it into a session, it's not going to start on a nice, if they have the 85 BPM down there, it's going to be kind of a weird start and that's going to be strange and really hard for them to line up. Make everyone's life easier, keep it gridded. And yeah, that is how you export a song in Studio One. I hope this has been helpful. This is probably way longer than it needed to be. I thought this was going to be a 2-second video, but yeah, here we are. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good day. Goodbye.